Welcome to Naptime Sports Talk Podcast. We are two dads talking sports during nap times. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode. Welcome back to Naptime Sports Talk Podcast. For episode 16, we'll start off with a Minnesota sports recap, then go into the top 5 quarterbacks of all time for the Minnesota Vikings. Then my special guest and I will both share a player for the Vikings that we would bring back in their prime of their career to plug in our current roster. Enjoy the show. So first, before we jump into the Minnesota sports recap, I would like to introduce our special guest who's filling in for Zach on today's episode. So Zach will be back soon. He will have some exciting news to share with you all. Very excited for Zach and his family as well. But I'm going to have him share that the next time he's on. So I would like to welcome a longtime friend of mine. You might remember this absolute dog from a previous episode. His name is DC, a.k.a. Dan Clement, out of West Duluth, Minnesota. DC, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. What are you, man?
Doing good, buddy. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm honored.
So, DC, just before we jump into the Minnesota sports recap, maybe just talk about how did you become a Minnesota sports fan? Obviously, you were from Minnesota, so maybe that has a part with it. But, sticking with your teams and staying true to them is another thing.
Yeah, I've been a Minnesota sports fan since I was just a young kid, and I do like other teams from other states, but I am the Minnesota sports from my number one team. I'm a diehard Vikings fan, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, and everything. There's been some rough memories like that with sports, but everything, but. I was around when the Twins won the 91 World Series. I was a couple weeks old when the Twins won the 1987 World Series, but I don't count that because I was just a newborn. But I've been around for the championship, but hopefully I can be around for this new generation for hopefully one of our sports teams win a championship.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. So, DC, Dan and I actually had a lot of great times together here growing up, going to the Minnesota Vikings training camp down in Mankato. So his stepdad, Craig, actually brought us down there quite often, I know Craig is a listener of our podcast. So, thank you, Craig, for supporting our podcast. And, just thank you for bringing me to the Vikings training camps when I was a young kid. You really helped me grow my love for the Vikings, and I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to do that. And, just thank you for bringing me along. So DC, just talking about our trips back, the training camp, I think the training camp in Mankato was just a very special event. You can get really up close and personal with the players. We spent countless hours on those sidewalks there outside of the main building where the players would come out of, trying to get autographs, talking with the players and things like that. I remember we actually, got to get an autograph from Ziggy Wolf, the owner. He rode by on his golf cart and he stopped and he signed our football and stuff like that. So just cool things like that, running into Adrian Peterson at the phone store there in his really nice vehicle there. And then also running into Chad Greenway in the Chipotle there, standing in line. We were standing there in line, and here comes Chad Greenway standing right behind us. So just super cool experiences growing up, going to the Vikings training camp there in Mankato. Definitely isn't as, it's still a cool fan experience, but in my opinion, I thought the fan experience back then was just outstanding. It's not like today, like I said, you can really get up close and personal with those players. So DC, what was your some of your favorite moments there going to Vikings training camp when we were kids?
Yeah, it was like you said, just being up close with the players, watching them walking out of the locker room, signing autographs on the way to practice, signing autographs done with practice, shaking their hands, meeting some of the players that we love, like Randy Moss, John Randall, Adrian Peterson, all those guys, and just seeing, like you said, countless hours waiting for the players to go, and we got autographs to some of the players that we didn't know, but we're excited that we got autographs and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was fun. Like seeing like Christy Harvin, the Williamson boys, Adrian Peterson, Jim Kleinsasser. I remember Jim Kleinsasser came out every morning with a cup of coffee, and he always said a cup of Joe. It was always a cup of Joe, and everything. It's just we were out there for hours just sweating because it was so hot because it was in July. It was like 80, 90, almost 100 degrees degree day every time we went. And so we were just like just drenched in sweat, but we're toughing out and just watching practices. We were like a little kid in a candy store. And
Yeah.
I remember a memory. I told us millions of times you won a drawing and you were the first person to get Tavares Jackson's autograph. And
Yep.
I to this day I was still jelly about that because I wanted to win that and you won that. And I was like, oh man, I'm a little jealous about that.
There's not a lot of things I've ever won and stuff doing like a contest and drawings like that. That's one I'll always remember, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was just you were like you were the first person to get his autograph and everything, and it was super cool. Like I was so happy for you, and just like you said, seeing Adrian Peterson outside of the cell phone store, he actually let us look in his vehicle, and I think it was a Range Rover. I think it was a Range Rover that he was driving, and then
Yeah, I think you're right.
we saw Chad Greenway and all those guys at Chipotle because we always stopped at Chipotle when we're down Mankato. It was like one of our main spots there, and seeing Chuck Foreman sitting in the parking lot at the hotel signing autographs for like $5 or $10, and see some of the legends out there. But it's a small town. It was just a fun experience ever going down there every single year and everything. And I like to tell you that it's nice to have it at the Performance Center, but I wish it was back at Mankato because I love that drive down there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like I said, the experience is, back then when we were kids growing up was way different than they can do now. Like you said, you have to get it really up close, or you could get really up close and personal with them, have conversations with them a little more. So that was really cool to see and just really help grow my Vikings fandom there at a young age. So what was some of your favorite parts of training camp? Like the night practices, maybe the combined practices with other teams. Like what were some of your favorite components of training camp?
Yeah, I really liked that. I really liked that night practice underneath the lights. It brought back like Friday Night Lights for high school football. Because I love Friday Night Lights, and it just seeing the joint practices. It was kind of funny seeing like Brock Lesnar out there playing and got in a couple of scrambles with the opposing teams and got in a couple of fights, but it just that and just being with the fan experience and being with like the best fans in the NFL and just being up close with the players and like shaking their hands and just getting autographs. It's we didn't care who signed our balls or
Yeah, we really
papers or
didn't.
anything. Like we did it. We still to this day we look at the balls that you have in your house. Like, all right, who's that? And like that. Like we were excited that we got like signed by like the Bennett guys or Antoine Winfield. You got covered Antoine Winfield's
Yep.
autographs and everything. And I remember one story. It was Aaron Henderson. He always had the Batmobile. He always had the Batmobile. He goes, I'm always driving on black on black on black. It's the Batmobile. And we just start laughing. I remember that day. It was cool to see them ride on their bikes, and because they stay in the dorm rooms there and everything. Is just being up close to the players is just really cool.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I remember that too. He said he likes his vehicles black and black and black. His vehicle's all blacked out. So yeah, he was a cool dude. That was EJ Henderson's younger brother, Aaron Henderson. He was a linebacker as well. So just to kind of throw out some names there, maybe people can remember back on that. But yeah, definitely, still get down to the training camp, even at the TCO Performance Center there in Eagan. Super beautiful facility, still a fun experience. But, ranking my experiences of my past training camp experiences, Mankato, I definitely would rank those higher than that Eagan training camp experience. So just a little different atmosphere and stuff like that. Still super cool to see the Vikes obviously in action and all that. So
And it's nice to see when they did joint practices in the night games. You saw players from different teams, like your favorite players from different teams,
yeah.
on out there playing like that
Well,
too.
just last year, we were able to get a picture. We went down there with the Tennessee Titans practice, and we got a picture of Derrick Henry. I was not expecting something like
Yeah,
that. So, and just meeting,
and the nicest dude ever.
yeah, for sure. And just meeting Vrabel there and DeAndre Hopkins as well. So yeah, it's really cool. Those join practices. You get to
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of the NFL stars, big names as well. So yeah, definitely check it out
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't. Get down there to Egan this training camp. So, well, moving into the Minnesota recap. So I'll just jump right into that. The Minnesota Wild. So just wanted to share a few things on the Wild before we move on to the Twins. So Marc-Andre Fleury signed a 1-year, $2.5 million deal to stay with the Wild for another year. I was surprised by this, but I'm happy the Flower's coming back for his age 40 season. Then another thing, the lottery draft was on this past Tuesday, May 7th, and the Wild will be picking 13th in the NHL entry level draft. This will take place in Vegas on Friday, June 28th. And the San Jose Sharks won the NHL draft. So congratulations to them. Thank God the Chicago Blackhawks did not win that, because if they did, I would have been absolutely just furious. If they would have ended up getting Macklin Celebrini, who's probably going to be the number one pick, and then Connor Bedard in back-to-back years. I know BJ here, Brendan Johnson, and KJ, Kevin Johnson, they would have been sending some fuming texts that night if Blackhawks landed that number one overall pick. So, yeah, DC, just what do you think about that Marc-Andre Fleury signing? I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, I was pretty surprised that he's coming back for another year. I was expecting him to maybe retire. But continuing the tandem of him and Gustafsson, and then even having, Wallstead be able to learn under those two is something that's really, really great.
I liked it. Like you said, I was shocked, but I think it's gonna be good for Jasper Wallstead. Um, Learning from one of the greatest goalies of all time, and having played one more year down with the Iowa Wild. But yeah, I like it a lot. I really do, and so hopefully they can get a good pick at 13 and everything, and hopefully the Wild can stay healthy and hopefully push for a playoff next year.
Yeah, it was a bummer not being able to watch them in playoff hockey this season. Just playoff hockey is one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite professional playoffs in all sports. I've been watching a lot more NBA this year too. That's been a lot really exciting as well. I honestly haven't been able to get into the NHL playoffs as much as past years since the Wild are out of it. I've been tuning in. There's some really good series going on right now, but it's just a whole difference when the Wild and your team is in it. So, but speaking on the NHL entry level draft, real quick, maybe DC, we're gonna have to maybe start a little tradition here and do a little mock draft challenge. Do a mock draft challenge for the NFL draft, and I think it'd be cool to
Yeah,
try to see what we could do for the NHL. It'll be a little different.
yeah, because you and me both love hockey and everything, and I haven't watched one single game of NHL hockey like for playoffs this year, and that's unusual for me because I always play hockey. It's just it's not the same
Yeah.
without the Wild in there. Yeah, I'm a Caps fan too. I'm a big Alex Ovechkin to TJ Oshie fan. I really did not get into the play hockey this year. It just seems really weird.
Yeah, it really does. And like I said, there are some good series going on, but it's different when it's your hometown team playing there. I'm a big Tampa Bay
Mm-hmm.
Lightning fan as well, but they got bounced in round one versus the Panthers, I believe it was. If I'm not mistaken, maybe
Okay.
that's wrong, but yeah, they were bounced round one, so that was a little bummer too. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, they can make it. The Wild can make it back next season.
I just hope Boston doesn't make it to the Stanley Cup. That's all I'm saying. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Boston's looking really tough. The Rangers are looking really
Mm-hmm.
tough. So I would have to predict. If I had to predict right now, I think the Rangers might make the Stanley Cup. But we'll see what
Mm-hmm.
happens. We'll see what happens. That's for sure. So, well, moving on to the Minnesota Twins. So the Minnesota Twins have been on an absolute heater. They're kind of cooling off a little bit here the last week, but they're still had a really impressive streak going on. They're 17-5 in their past 22 games. Within that stretch, they had a 12-game winning streak. The last time the Twins won that many games in a row was back in 1991, which we all know is one of their championship seasons. Big D talked about that earlier in this podcast as well. Uh, we're now 24-18 on the season, sitting in second place behind the Cleveland Guardians, who are 27-16. The Twins did lose tonight again versus the Yankees. So they dropped 2 games in a row here versus them. And moving forward though, Byron Buxton hopefully will be coming to the lineup soon. We did lose him a couple weeks back to the IL to a right knee inflammation. So I know he's doing his rehab stint over here in the next few days in St. Paul with the Saints. So yeah, hopefully he'll be back in the Twins lineup. His bat hasn't been that great this year. He's been out in the field, which has been more, has been pretty exciting. But yeah, we just hopefully he can come back and step up. And then just no more news on Royce Lewis. He went down game 1 of the season. Hopefully we'll get him back here at some point in May because he's our, kind of our spark plug, I would say, to our offense, and just a phenomenal player. I was really excited to see what Lewis could do this season, and I was hoping he could put a full healthy season together, and we obviously know how that started, so hopefully he can come back and finish the season healthy. But yeah, like I spoke, they're currently in a 3-game series against the Yankees. We lost the first and second game now, and then on Friday we'll start up a 3-game away series versus Cleveland. That'll be a big series for us. Hopefully we can pick up some games in the standings and get a little closer to Cleveland. So yeah, we'll see what happens here going forward with the Twins. But moving on to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But man, just what a bummer here. We were up 2-0 in this series, went to Denver there and won game 1, won game 2, just absolutely smoked them. They came back game 3 at our home barn and absolutely demolished us. They came out in game 4, won that as well. We went back there in game 5 and lost last night. So just very, very unfortunate way of, the way things have turned out here for the Timberwolves. It's not over yet. I get that. It could be over, though, by the time this episode drops Friday morning. So they play game 6 here Thursday night at 7:30 tip-off time around then. So hopefully they'll extend the series and we get another a game on Sunday for game 7, because the Wolves have been really exciting to watch. And yeah, hopefully they can keep it going, because it would be a huge bummer with the way things have turned on them for sure. So, Jokic, just unbelievable player. Just getting sick of him, honestly, because he's just so good and just killing us all series here. Well, not all series, but the last 3 games for sure. In this last game, he just proved that he's, I think, in my opinion, the best player in the world right now.
Yeah, because he just dropped like 45 points or something.
Yeah, I think, it was in the 40s there. I think it was could have been 40 in that range. Yep. But Gobert, who just won the Defensive Player of the Year, can't even guard him in the paint. It's been very frustrating to watch. And Aaron Gordon just I don't even know how to explain it. Just looking incredible, like a superstar player. And Aaron Gordon is a good player, but he's not that great. So he's definitely showing, though, that he's playing really great basketball right now. And then, Jamal Murray getting healthy, I think, was big for them. Their bench has stepped up. The Wolves bench has gone cold here the last few games, I think, not getting a lot of points. Obviously didn't help that Mike Conley didn't play in game 5. That was a big loss. He's a tremendous leader on the floor, kind of helps the guys keep their composure. Ant was really well defended here last game. They had a good strategy, a good game plan versus him. Just whenever he gets the ball, they pretty much had guys just right on him right away. Usually double teams. You think that would open the floor. You'd open the open shots for other guys, but guys weren't hitting baskets, and that's a huge difference. They're just trying to make the other guys beat them. So then Towns, unfortunately, fell pretty hard on his knee early in game 5 as well. So hopefully he'll be ready to roll here in game 6, because we're going to need all the arsenal to extend this series. So
yeah, they have to play their best game of the year. They force game 7.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's not over yet, but we'll see what happens. So Well, moving on. So we're going to move on to our next topic. We're going to go over the top 5 quarterbacks. In my opinion, Minnesota Vikings history. This is not like based on seasons. It's based on just careers as a Viking. So, of course, if we're talking about seasons, I have to throw in like Brett Favre in there, Randall Cunningham. Those guys had tremendous years when they played with us, especially the Favre one was one of my favorite Vikings seasons of all time growing up. And then early on too in my life in the early or late 90s there. I was pretty young though, so but I still remember, the 99, 98 in that range with Moss and those guys. And then obviously Gary Anderson missing that field goal. Hopefully I'm not bringing up too hard of memories for Vikes fans there. But yeah, so moving on to my top 5. So number 5, I have sitting Brad Johnson. So Brad Johnson played 7 seasons with the Vikings. He passed for 11,098 passing yards with us and 65 passing touchdowns as well. He went 28-19 in 47 games started. So he's my number 5, big Brad Johnson there. Number 4 I have is Tommy Kramer. So Tommy Kramer started 114 games for the Vikings. He finished with around a 500 record at 56-58 in his career. He had 24,777 or 775 passing yards, 159 passing touchdowns, 531 rushing yards, and 8 rushing touchdowns as well. So he could do a little bit with his legs. But Tommy Kramer is a guy. He's actually he's made quite appearances up here in our area that we live in, and he just seems like a really cool guy. People can go out there and meet him and talk to him in different local bars here as well. So number 3, I have Dante Culpepper. So Dante Culpepper started 84 career games with the Vikings. He played 7 seasons with us. He had a 40-44 career record as a Viking with 20,162 passing yards, 135 passing touchdowns, 2,476 rushing yards, and 29 rushing touchdowns. And man, if he didn't mess up his knee, he could have possibly been one of the best ones on this list because his trajectory at the time of when he got hurt was just skyrocketing. So very unfortunate injury for Culpepper and an unfortunate situation for the Vikings when that happened. Moving on to number 2, I have Kirk Cousins on the list. So obviously Kirk Cousins, our ex-quarterback, 6 seasons with the Vikings, started 88 games for the Vikings, 23,265 passing yards, 171 passing touchdowns. I went 51-39-1 with the Vikings over the 6 years. So, yeah, speaking on that, Big D, what did you think of our quarterback that we drafted here in the first round, JJ McCarthy?
Absolute dog.
Hell yeah, absolute dog.
I was so stoked. Like, I wanted the Panthers there, but of course he went to Atlanta, and everyone was just all confused why Atlanta drafted him because he's probably not gonna play for the next 4 years. But yeah, I was super stoked for getting him. After Panks got drafted, I knew we were gonna draft JJ, and because he was probably the best quarterback left in the draft and everything. But I was stacked about it. I was super happy. So
yeah, super excited about it as well. Like we talked before, it's a perfect situation for JJ McCarthy. I don't know if he will be the starting quarterback week 1, but depending on how he does moving forward here in the offseason and in training camp, preseason, but I fully trust KOC and McCallum that they're not going to rush him. And if he is starting, it's because he's ready to roll. We do have Sam Darnold sitting there too, who's very serviceable as well. So we don't have to rush him. Like I said, perfect situation for him. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does, just looking forward to and hoping that he is our quarterback of the future and we have this position locked down and set for many years to come. Seems like a great kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He has some very nice traits that I like. He's got a pretty good mobility in the pocket. He can make plays with his legs. He has a pretty good arm there too. Maybe he needs to learn a little more touch versus just always throwing 100 miles per hour on every throw. Because at some point he's gonna be rolling on the puck. He's gonna have a linebacker or someone, a cornerback or something coming in, dropping down. He's gonna have to drop a ball with touch over that person. So, just something that you can kind of work on a little more is maybe some more of that accuracy and becoming more consistent. But really excited to see what he does here. And, it's probably actually even more excited about our second pick there in the first round. That was again Dallas Turner. He's an absolute dog out of Alabama. Big D's a big Bama fan there. Roll Tide. Big D, how did you like that Dallas Turner pick?
I was ecstatic. There was some choice words that we're saying, but this is a PG show, so I'm not going to be saying some of those words. But I think everybody was off their seats and they were jumping up and down. Um, I was just ecstatic when we got him. We were shocked. We were shocked because we were supposed to have the 23rd pick and we traded down to 17, and we just got just one of the best pass rushers in the draft, probably one of the best defensive players in the draft. And I am so excited for him. I can't wait to see what Forrest does with him. Um, they were saying that Forrest compares him to Dante Hightower and an Alabama guy, and so I'm excited for what he's going to do on the deep side of the ball. I think he's going to have a heck of a rookie season, and I think he's going to tear up the quarterbacks a little bit, and he's going to raise heck in the backfield this coming season.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm really excited to see what he does. Pairing him up there on the edges with Greenard coming off of one edge, Turner coming off the other, Van Ginkel coming in as situational rusher too. And he's actually more than situational rusher too. Van Ginkel has a lot of nice traits as well that he can add to a defense. And then having, probably I would have to imagine Harrison Phillips, Jerry Tillery there in the insides, switching in and out, maybe lining up Phillips more on the edge too. You have your guy at the hand in the dirt and you got your edge rusher as well. So in that 3-4 scheme, and then up the middle having Blake Cashman and Ivan Pace. I would imagine Ivan Pace having a really tremendous next second year in the NFL, building off his rookie season. He actually switched his jersey number to number 0, which is pretty cool too. So
his old college number.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what he can do here in year 2 and just continue to build off that. But yeah, his defense is really, I think on paper looking pretty nice. So I know DC. What do you think? How do you think this D will do overall this next season?
I think they're gonna be a top 10. I think they're gonna be a top 10 defense this year. I think their pass rush is gonna be better. I'm a little nervous about our secondary a little bit, but I think our rush game gonna improve a lot.
Yeah.
Like you said, that they look good on paper, but it's paper. We can't see them in paper doesn't do justice. You have to see how they play the game.
Yeah, very true. You can look good on paper, and we've seen many teams look good on paper, and they come out and they fall flat on their faces. So we have to see how this is all put together, and like you said, we'll see you real soon. So I'm excited, really excited to see what that defense can do in this second season with Flores there at the helm. Well, moving into my number 1 player. So Big D, I'm just gonna give you a guess real quick. Who do you think my number 1 or the number 1 quarterback is in Minnesota Vikings history?
Oh, of course, it's the GOAT, Frank Tarkenton.
You got it. So yeah, Fran Tarkenton, 13 seasons with the Vikings, 33,098 passing yards, 239 passing touchdowns, 2,554 rushing yards in his career, 24 rushing touchdowns. He had 70 career wins, 32 career losses, 2 ties with the Vikings. He was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1986. So yeah, it's very easy to put Fran Tarkenton at number 1. And hopefully in the future, DC, JJ McCarthy will take in that number 1 spot. So we'll see what happens. But well, moving on to our next topic. So if our next topic is if we had to pick one player who played for the Vikings in the past, who was in their prime, to add to this current roster, who would it be? So we'll start offensively, and then we'll go to the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, I'll start first, Dan. I'll go offense, and after I share mine, you can go ahead and share yours offense. We'll do the same thing for defense. Sound good?
All right, sounds good.
All right, so my guy is who I would love to see in this offense is Randy Moss. So pairing Randy Moss with JJ, Addison, Hawkinson, Powell, Aaron Jones, JJ McCarthy, Sam Darnold throwing them the ball. Man, I would love to see that offense.
That'd be dangerous. That'd be scary. Be the best offense.
Yeah.
It'd be the best offense in the NFL. No doubt. Who's going to stop that?
It easily could. What's that?
Who's going to stop that offense if you had Moss there?
Right? Yeah, you have a guy, Moss, who can, take the tops off of defenses. You can do it all. JJ, best route runner in the NFL, in my opinion. High points football, one of the elite wide receivers, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in the NFL. Jordan Addison, absolute burner too. Hawkinson, one of the top tight ends. Aaron Jones, hell of a running back. I'd love to see, like I said, I'd love to see. If I had to pick one, Randy Moss would be my number 1 choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, but well, leading into you, DC, who would be your number 1 choice if you had to pick someone to add to put in this Viking offense?
I would pick Robert Smith. Like a lot of people think I would probably think I'll pick Adrian Peterson. This is probably one of the best running backs in the Viking history. But I love the way Robertson ran the ball. Like he was a little speed guy. He's not really like a north and south guy like Adrian Peterson was. He didn't really run people over, but he had quick feet and he was quick. And I just liked the way he played the game, and he was averaging like 4 to 5 yards per carry. So, like, I really liked him.
Yeah, Robert Smith was a really fun player to watch growing up too. So I like that pick a lot. He would be a fun guy to add to this offense. Well, moving into defense, so if I had to pick one player to add to this defense, and some people who know me pretty well probably already know who I'm going to pick here. I thought about potentially another guy here, and we'll see. Maybe DC will say that. I have a hunch, but my number 1 guy is John Randall. So just putting John Randall in the middle of this defense on the D line to have that just tenacity, just that alpha dog mentality, lead by example type guy would just be huge for that defensive front. In my opinion, I think that's like one of our biggest needs on our defensive side of the ball too, is still the interior of the defensive line. Obviously, we have Harrison Phillips and Jerry Tillery that we signed this offseason. But John Randall in the middle of that defensive line will be tremendous. In my opinion, we haven't had that creative interior probably since having Linval Joseph, and gosh, I'm trying to think who else was next to him there at that time, but I'm even going to go further back too, and that is Kevin Williams and that Pat Williams wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just that tremendous, wall up front in the middle helped tremendously in the run game. We needed to really improve that as well on our defense side of the ball. So John Randall can get it after the passer. He can stop the run. He would be a guy that I would love to plug into that middle of that defense and that Flores scheme.
Yeah. He brings so much excitement on the defensive ball. The guy was like an Energizer bunny. Like, kept going. And with his war paint, like his eye black and everything, like I'll be intimidated if I was right across him. I'll be scared. Like,
right, no doubt.
I'll be like, all right, I have to go against this guy. I don't know, he might be working me all game long.
For sure. Yeah, John Randall is an absolute dog. He's the definition of absolute dog. So if you ever wonder what absolute dog means, it's John Randall. That's what that means. So
oh yeah.
Well, moving on, DC, who's your guy?
All right, so everybody will probably think I'll pick John Randall, but I know I'm gonna twist it up a little bit. What do you do if you move like Harrison Smith over the strong safety, right? Why do you have next to
Yep.
him is Paul Krause?
Okay.
Like probably one of the best free safeties that ever played the game, and
Yep.
have
I mean,
Krause,
he has the most interceptions ever in a career in the NFL for sure.
and you have 222s. So one Harrison Smith definitely has to change his number, but just having those two in the secondary, and
Yeah.
hey, hey, Paul Krause interception, and you have Harry the Hitman that lays out people. It's one of the hardest hitters in the secondary, one of the hardest hitters in the league. Also, taking guys' heads
Mm-hmm.
off, and a great guy. It'd just be nice to see those two be teammates for like one game or 1 year if Paul Krause was still alive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Paul Krause, he actually is. He's not dead,
Oh yeah, no,
DC.
no.
So don't wish him dead.
Yes,
Don't
my
wish him dead.
sorry,
He's still
sorry,
alive,
people.
so you can actually meet him. But
Yeah, sorry
he's
about that.
actually 82 years old currently. No, you're all good. You're all good. But yeah, Paul Krause, he's still alive here. He's 82 years old. But yeah, an absolute Vikings legend, like you said. That would be huge.
Yeah,
So add to that secondary.
he was on that defense with the Purple People leaders with the best, probably the best defensive line ever in the game.
Yep, for sure. I agree. So I like that pick a lot. Well, moving on to our next topic. So we're just going to go over the Minnesota Vikings schedule here real quick. And DC, I'm just going to maybe have you do your prediction for us. All right.
All right.
All right. So week 1 on Sunday, September 8th at 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the Vikings will take on the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. They're out in New Rutherford, New Jersey. So who do you got in this game, DC?
I got dub.
You got the dub?
Yep, I got the dub.
All right, so we're starting this year off 1-0, baby. That sounds like it, right?
Yep.
Let's rock and roll. All right, week 2, we come back to US Bank Stadium. We play the San Francisco 49ers on September 15th at 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Who do you got, DC?
I'm gonna take the L.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna say my opinions here. I'm gonna save that for a later podcast when Zach's back on. We'll go over the schedule and we'll do our predictions as well. But so you got the Vikes going 1-1 through week 2. All right, moving on to week 3. We have the pleasure of welcoming back Neil Hunter on September 22nd at 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time. DC, who do you got?
I'm gonna take the L.
You gonna take the L?
You know, I think it's gonna be a hard battle. But that Texans team, they came a long way and they look scary.
Yeah, I agree with you too. That's the stretch of games here, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5 even potentially are pretty tough. So we'll get into that here next. So week 4, we're going to go out to Lambeau Field and play the Green Bay Packers on Sunday, September 29th. DC, who do you got?
I'm going to the Packers for the win. I don't want to. I want to say no, but I think it's gonna be go Pack go that day.
Oh man, I hate to hear that.
I know. I
hate to hear that. You are dampening my mood right now.
I am sorry, but we just I know
you.
we beat them in Green Bay last year, but it's always tough to play at Green Bay at that
for sure
that kind of stadium.
Yeah, I get it for sure. So you got the Vikes starting off 1-3 through week 4 of the season. So moving on to week 5, we're going to be taking the Vikings will be going overseas to London. They're going to be playing the New York Jets on Sunday, October 6th at 8:30. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm. This is probably gonna be maybe one of my favorite games this year. But I think we'll go for the dub because it's gonna be one of my favorite games. It's gonna hopefully see JJ and Sauce going at it for one of the best offensive players and one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that matchup too, and see best on best there for sure. So after the week 5 game versus the Jets, we actually have our bye and week 6 this year. So pretty early. You know, it'll be nice for them to come back from London and get a week off. But man, that stretch here from week 7 to week 18 is a very long stretch. And hopefully it's over that time period we can stay healthy and get through that stretch just fine. So moving on to week 7, we come back and we play the Detroit Lions on October 20th at 12 p.m. at US Bank Stadium. Big D, who do you got?
I'm gonna go for the win.
I love it. Heck yeah. Let's go. Yeah, I'm hoping that we can get at least one win versus Detroit this year, because last year losing them both is just not something I'm used to.
We're gonna put those keys back in the leather box.
I love it. All right. Week 8. So we're going to be going out to SoFi Stadium. We're going to be facing the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday, October 24th at 7:15 Central Daylight Time. DC, who do you got?
Dub Nation, baby.
Dub Nation. All right. So you got the Vikes bouncing back, back-to-back victories there. So we're back to 4-3 above 500 here. So going into week 9, this stretch from week 8 through week 16, I think, is going to be a very important stretch myself, where we need to string some wins together, because there's definitely some winnable games during this portion of the schedule. But yeah, week 9, we come back home and we face the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday, November 3rd at 12 p.m. Central Time. DC, who do you got?
Well, hopefully it's not gonna be the comeback that happened a couple years ago, but I think we're gonna lose that one.
Okay, so you're gonna have us drop the 5 back to 500 after week 9, going 4-4.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to week 10. So we're gonna go down to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars there on Sunday, November 10th. DC, who do you got?
Dallas Turner is gonna give Lawrence a new haircut. That's gonna be a win.
All right, I love it. Well, you'll be getting a new haircut that week too, then, if they get a win, huh?
Oh, I know. I might have to grow a mullet though.
All right, yeah, a little business in the front, party in the back. Love it. A little drill down there.
Yeah.
Week 11, we are going to we're going to go down to Nashville there and have a little party versus the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, November 17th. DC, who do you got?
Vikings are gonna walk down the Broadway and knock out the Broadway girls. We're gonna go for the win, baby.
All right, let's go. You're here first. DC is rolling. Here we go. Week 12. We are going to go to Soldier Field on Sunday, November 24th. DC, who do you got?
JJ McCartney is going to knock off Caleb Williams.
All right. So JJ is going to go there in Chicago and plant his flag there right in the middle of that field.
Yep.
All right. I love it. Week 13, we're going to have the pleasure of facing the Arizona Cardinals at home on Sunday, December 1st at 12 p.m. DC, who do you got?
Like I said, Dallas Turner is going to step on top of Kyle Murray, and we're going to stop Marvin Harrison. So we're going to get a dub there.
All right, so you got the Vikes moving into week 14, 8-4. I love it. All right, week 14, here we go, DC. We have Kirk Cousins coming back, and I know Dallas Turner is going to be putting Kirk Cousins on that grass all game long, because he's an absolute dog. All right, DC, but week 14, December 8th. Mark your calendars. I know DC's already got his popcorn in the kitchen ready for that one. We might have to watch that one together, DC. That'd be fun.
Yes.
But December 8th, like I said, 12 p.m., we got the Atlanta Falcons coming back to US Bank Stadium. Kirk Cousins is coming back.
Well,
who do you got?
Well, Kirk Cousins is not going to say you like that. So, of course, everybody's going to be saying the skull chant. Of course, we're going to get the win.
All right. So 9-4 after week 14. Here we go. We got the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football on December 16th at US Bank Stadium. DC, who do you got?
So I got Vikings winning the first game. The Vikings are going to go for the sweep. JJ is going to beat Caleb Williams again.
All right, love it. So we get the sweep for Chicago this year.
Yep.
There we go. All right, week 16 on Sunday, December 22nd. We'll be facing the Seattle Seahawks out there in Seattle. DC, who do you got?
Going for the win.
All right, so we're moving on. We are 11-4 currently. we're heading to the playoffs. It looks like we're moving on to our last 2 games of the year, pretty big games. Probably if this is what's going on, going for that division title. We'll be facing the Green Bay Packers at US Bank Stadium on December 29th at 12 p.m. DC, who do you got?
The Cheeseheads are going to say, no pack, go, no pack, go. No, we're going to take the dub.
All right, I love it. Big deal be eating some cheese curds that night with a big smile on his face because we just destroyed the Packers.
Oh, yes.
All right, week 18 is to be determined on the calendar when this game is going to be taking place, but we have the kiddies and Big D. Are we putting the kiddies back in the litter box or the kiddies coming back out of the cage?
Oh, the kiddies are going to stay in the cage because you know what? We're going to get the dub and we're going to win the NFC North.
Hell yeah, let's go. So DC, you got the Vikes going 13-4, and we're winning that North, making it back to the playoffs next year. Who's leading us to that NFC North division title?
JJ McCarthy.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Well, yeah, I'm super excited to see, how this schedule unfolds here with the Vikes in the regular season. We have a long way to go. We have summer first. Let's enjoy summer before the football season. Don't want to wish that away.
Yeah.
But yeah, later on in other episodes, Zach and I will go over the schedule ourselves too and give our opinions on what we think the records are going to be for the Vikings and the Raiders as well. But yeah, DC, I just appreciate you joining me today, and it was a pleasure having you on. I think you did a really nice job, and like I said, Zach will be joining us again here in the future. But in actuality, I just want to go back real quick because I just forgot about this. But Zach, on preseason week 1, the Vikes will be playing the Las Vegas Raiders here at US Bank Stadium. So something that I think that we need to definitely go to. It'll be a lot of fun. And Zach's already calling shots out here on Twitter. He said, see y'all in Minnesota preseason week 1, easy dub. And I said to him, I said, we will see you here. Can't wait to beat y'all by another field goal. So we'll see what happens, but I definitely think that's a game that we'll have to get to this season or this preseason, especially with the Raiders will be coming to Minnesota.
So are you driving or is he driving? Because hopefully you're driving.
Oh gosh.
Because hopefully you're driving because we're gonna give him crap, and if we give him enough crap, he might leave us at the bank. So we might have to hitchhike home or take an Uber.
That's very true. So hopefully in that scenario, maybe the Raiders beat us by a field goal since it's a preseason. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
So no,
we might have to drive separate cars.
Super excited. Yeah, we might have to for sure. But yeah, super excited for the football season, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, before we just get off here, DC's actually he'll be running the half marathon here in Duluth, the Grandma's Marathon. He'll be doing that one. So yeah, DC, good luck to you. Wish you the best. Everyone root him on. Be cheering for him. Be saying some prayers for him that he has a successful half marathon experience. He finishes that finish line. I know you won't have any trouble with that, especially after you got those new tennis shoes that you got. I know those are going to carry you across that finish line. And DC, just proud of you for attacking your health goals here, and just keep it going, brother. Yeah. That's for sure. Just keep it going.
I appreciate that a lot, and I just want to thank from all the love support I've been getting from everybody through this journey. I can't do it without you guys. I'm doing something really special for this race. I'm dedicating this race to 3 people that impact my life so much. One of them is going to be my uncle that passed away it's going to be 3 years. He was just a big support to me, to all my friends. He was one of our partners with us when we went down to Mankato. Such a great guy. Diehard Vikings fan, Twins fans, and he was actually a Braves fan too. So he was kind of mad that the Twins beat the Braves in the World Series. I don't know how that is, but Gary, aka Moose, was just a great guy, and he was a heck of a football player too. He was a great touch football guy. Everybody called him Moose because no one couldn't move him because he was such a big guy. And that person is my ex-wife's my ex-mother-in-law, Mel. She passed away almost 3 years ago with stage 4 lung cancer, and she had an impact in my life for the last 5 years, and I miss her dearly. And but the main person I miss so much, I think about him every single day, is my nephew, Asher. My sister had a miscarriage back in December of 2022. His first birthday would have been March 29th, so we went and celebrated for him for that. But yeah, it's just those people that impact my life and everything is I'm doing that for them, and I just want to, like I said, I want to thank for all the love support from my family and friends, my brothers. Um, I can't wait to cross that finishing line, and I don't care what it takes for me to do it. I don't care if I have a broken leg, broken arm, tore ACL. I am crossing that finish line, and I'm gonna be excited. I'm gonna have a little after party after, and I'm just gonna have a great day, a good weekend, and I cannot wait for it to be here. It's just coming up quick, so I got I'm almost there, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, DC will be rooting you on, and we'll be thinking of you when you're doing the half marathon there. And we know you got this.
Mhm.
So just keep it going and keep it rolling. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening today. Like I said, Zach will be back here in future episodes. Just he has some exciting news to share with everyone. So Zach, just enjoy this time that you have off from our podcast, and missed you on this one, brother. But yeah, thank you, DC, for stepping in for DC or for Zach tonight. I really appreciate that, and thank you everyone for the support in our podcast. We have been really enjoying this, and and sharing our love for Minnesota sports and just sports in general with you all. So keep on listening, keep sharing our podcast with everyone, and till next time, in honor of Zach for tonight, just win, baby, and Skull Vikes. Thank you for listening to our episode. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram and X at Naptime Sports Talk Podcast for content related to the pod. Thank you for the support.